What to do if you look like this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and abuse you for getting to 30% body fat. You already know that you are 30% body fat because of your own doing. You may have got injured, you may have been in an accident, you may have been through a bad spell in your life, but you are where you are in life because of your own doing. However, we can get you out of there because it is your doing. You got yourself into this mess, we can get you out with the right knowledge. And that's what we're going to uncover in this video, where we are going to discuss the art of body recomposition. I'm going to explain it to you where you may think, well, what is a body recomposition? It sounds all fucking fancy. It's not fancy. I'm going to give you the short answer to how to get into the best shape of your life. We're going to take you from 30% body fat. Now, you may think, listen, motherfucker, cool, you're in nice shape. Nice, cool, probably got good little Cypriot genetics, I'm sure. Well, show me proof of other results. So this is, just so you know, I'm worth listening to. I've done it before. I've got guys from 30% to 10% body fat. Let me move this fucking timer. 30%, 10% body fat. 20-something%, 10% body fat. I've done it before with, there's 20 guys on this page, as you can see. This is what I live and fucking breed on a day-to-day basis. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, my name's Tom Zergi and I run the Gorilla Platoon. Now, let's roll straight into the video and get you exactly what you came here for, which is how to do a body recomposition. With the first question being, what is a body recomposition? A body recomposition is the ability to drop body fat and build muscle at the same time. If you are 30% body fat, you will definitely be dropping body fat and you will be able to build muscle at the same time, because it's going to take you 20 weeks as a minimum to get from where you are today to where you want to in, let's say, where is it? This condition here. It's about a 20-week period that we need to take you to. In 20 weeks, rest assured, if you listen to what I say, you're going to build muscle. Of course you are. What do you think you're going to be doing? Like pressing fresh air for 20 weeks? Obviously not. Of course you'll be able to build muscle and you will be able to drop body fat. I'll do a secondary video later on how we do it for guys that are more 20% body fat and maybe even guys that are around like 17% body fat. We can speak about those on another day. But for today, we are going to capture those that are 30% body fat, or let's say 25 and above. This will help you massively. So that's what we're going to do. Dropping body fat and building muscle. That is the art. It can be done if you follow what I say in this video. Now, there are 3 pillars to the body recomposition, made up of resistance training, high protein diet, and a negative energy balance. We're going to go through all 3 of those now. Now, why do you need to resistance train? Well, because if you go into a negative energy balance with just high protein, you will lose the weight, you will lose the adipose tissue, but you will just become a smaller, softer version of yourself. If you do not resistance train, you will just look garbage, to tell you the truth. So it's very, very important that we must resistance train. Now, the next question is, how should we resistance train and how much? And we're going to go uncover that now. So how we should resistance train or how much will depend on your starting ability. If you are brand spanking new to the gym, this is what I want you to do. I want you to follow a 3-day per week full body training split, where you're going to do a full body A and a full body B, and you will alternate that every time you train on the gym floor. You're going to make sure you do a lower body push, like a split squat. If you can't do a split squat, you're going to do a leg press. You're going to do an upper body pull. You can even pair the two together. You're going to do a lower body hamstring curl. You're going to do an upper body press, incline dumbbell press, or a flat machine if you've got them available. An incline machine if you've got them available. You're going to do something from the delts, dumbbell lateral raises, tricep push down for the arms, and preacher curl for the biceps. Now, this you could say is geared to around men, because that's the way I've set this up. Predominantly, majority of my viewers are male, so that's why I've done it in this way. On the B session, you're going to do leg extensions, a chest-supported row, a barbell hip thrust, a flat machine press this time, dumbbell shoulder press instead of lateral raises, overhead rope tricep extension, and seated dumbbell curls. Now, what we've got here is your ability to do frequency, which is to train the muscle, i.e. to train your quads. You're going to do your quads pretty much every session, so 3 times a week. You're going to do your lats twice a week, and you're going to do your upper back traps once a week. But remember, you will alternate the sessions every time you step on the gym floor. But every time you step on the gym floor, you are going to stimulate either your, let's globalize this, back, chest, shoulders, and legs, and arms. You're going to do those every time you train. There is enough frequency in there for you to hit the muscle. Now, when you are new to training, frequency is very useful. You do not need a high dosage of volume, because That's like me saying, you've got a headache, take this fucking pill that cures like some disease that's 10x what the illness you've got. You just don't need it, do you? It's the same with training stimulus. So that's why volume can be lower, frequency needs to be there, and then the last variable we have is intensity. But if you're brand spanking new to training, you can do your sets. You could finish with 1 rep in reserve, i.e. you like, I could have done 1 more, and you'll still grow. You don't even need to max that out just yet. If you followed this for the first 3 to 6 months, you will grow muscle. If you haven't trained before, or you haven't trained for like a year, follow this and you will grow muscle. So that's for those of you that are brand spanking new. Let's say you've been training or you have a rough understanding of the gym and you've been going for like a year to 18 months. This is what I do next. I then go into a 4-day training split where you're going to do full body push, everything on the front of the body, and full body pull, everything on the back of the body. Monday, Tuesday, rest Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rest Saturday, rest Sunday. Now what we've been able to do is just add a little bit more into the plan because we've got that extra day of training. So for the push, we're going to start with a pec deck machine and we can do an incline press. We're going to do a leg press, then a shoulder press, a lateral raise, a rope tricep pushdown, and a tricep extension. You could alternate between shoulder, tricep to finish off, and that'd be absolutely fine. On the pull day, you're going to go single arm pull down for the lats, upper back row for the traps, hamstring curl, lat pull down, dumbbell preacher curl, ab crunch, incline preacher curl. You could even put some rear delt flies in there just to add an extra exercise. But what this is now going to allow you is to improve the volume, improve the dosage of the stimulus that you need for your body. This is how I would train if I was going to do a 4-day split. But lastly, for all you absolute gym rats that have been going for a while, but for some reason you just got yourself into absolute shit state from a body fat and physique standpoint, and really it's been like a month or two and you've just not trained for that long, but simultaneously you were just absolutely destroying your physique over the time for whatever reason. I know it happens. You might have gone for a sad time. You might have got injured. It happens. I understand, blokes. I get it, okay? This is how I train if I needed to do the next step up. So I've been running a 5-day split. And honestly, I run a 5-day split. I would not do any more. I've done 6, and looking back, it's actually retarded, and you just don't get enough time to recover and grow. The mindset of people that do 6-day splits is more, and they think it's the gym session that makes them grow. The gym session, you are digging the crater. You are damaging the tissue. You need to go back home and sew those fucking fibers back together so they grow back thicker and stronger. But if you do 6 days on, 1 day off, you do not have the time to recover because you're always accumulating that global level of fatigue. Whereas with this, we can do 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, and repeat like so. So we're going to do push, pec deck machine, incline dumbbell press, flat machine press. And look how much volume we're now getting in for chest. Again, more dosage of stimulus. Machine chest shoulder press. Why at this point? Because again, we're going to be pretty fucked after these first 3 exercises. Tricep dips, nice and loadable for the triceps. Dumbbell lateral raises, and a push down. We're then into pull, where we've got single arm pull down, chest supported T-bar row, lat pull down, hammer curl, rear delt flies, and incline bicep curl. On a leg day, leg extension, line hamstring curl, leg press, split squat, seated calf raise, and ab crunch. Now, if you are quite a seasoned individual, I would insert in there a RDL as well. But again, you need to have been training a fair amount of time to execute that efficiently. And I do it on a Smith machine as well. After your rest day, you're going to run chest and back, pec deck, flat press, incline machine press, pull up, chest supported row, single arm lower lat row to toast off those lower lats, and then rear delt flies. Rounding it off to give us that X-shaped physique, delts and arms. Delts and arms generally needs its own day for most men. You get 2 camps of guys. You get the guys that lift everything with their arms and can't grow their back and chest, and you have the guys that are really good at connecting for the back and chest and can't grow their arms. I'm in the second camp, but like my brother is in the other camp. So if we like mixed each other together, you get a superhuman and a weasel dick. So we're going to go tricep dips first, shoulder press, bicep preacher curl, lateral raises, behind the back cable curl, rope push down, dual cable lateral raises, decline and ab crunch. So plenty for the delts on this day. Now, if you want to just go back through the video, pause, write down any of these splits, this is what I would be doing. Now, this adds, as you can see, a lot more volume across the week, but you don't need it yet if you're not at that stage. Don't just think, I'll jump to the 5 and I'll get all the gains. Milk the 3, then milk the 4, then milk the 5 until the fucking udders are red raw. That's the way you should approach this with the resistance training. Now, That's training nailed on. You're going to do either a 3, a 4, or a 5-day split with X amount of volume. I've told you exactly what to do. The rep range is, you're generally going to do 3 sets, 1 heavy set of 6 to 10, and 2 back off of 12 to 15. Stand by, go and apply that. You'll be absolutely fine. I've done loads of videos on like pull, push, chest, shoulders, whatever the fuck. You can go and find that information out there. Looking back at the presentation, we then need a high protein diet. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper and give you a bit more value than that. So let's say you come to me and you are 92 kilograms. We know you are 30% body fat because you've sent me your photos and we look somewhere around this. And now what we need to do is we need to get you in fucking shape, okay? So we understand that if you're 92 kilograms and 30% body fat, we need to get you down to 10% body fat. For a fact, we're going to need to pull off 20 kilos, maybe a touch more. So let's say we need to get you down to 71 kg. Let's be conservative. We know this is going to take 20 weeks because you can pull a kilo off a week, especially for 30% body fat. It should fucking fall off in the beginning if you've set up correctly. At that point, you're going to have a lean body mass of 64.4 and a resting metabolic rate of 1,760 calories. Let's say you're the average individual. The way you'd work this out is you're moderately active and you train 3 to 5 days a week. Lightly active or pretty desk bound, you're going to go 135 if you work an office job. If you're more of an active guy, you work construction, you're a PT, in the military, you're going to times by 175. But let's say you're the average for easy numbers. You're going to times the two together. It's going to give us a maintenance of 2,730. Now let us understand. Going back to the image, you didn't get here by fucking accident. You got here by months of abuse. Like, let's be honest. You got here because you abused your body for months on end. You ate seed oils, you ate garbage, you didn't move, you got on the piss, you drank loads of fucking beer, and you just poisoned your body with loads of bullshit. So you didn't get here by accident. So now what I would say is, when we set this deficit up, we don't need to be as aggressive as you think. Now, we can do, because you're 30%, we could honestly go really fucking aggressive and watch it absolutely melt away. But I would not advise that. Do you know why I wouldn't advise that? Now, remember when I said we want to do a body recomposition? We can rip the body fat off, no problem. I could shed that fat off, absolutely no problem. You've seen the proof. I can shed that off, no problem. We took 20 kilos off this guy in 16 weeks. This one was 20 weeks. I can shed it off you, not an issue. The issue is, if I just rip all of the fat off and I put you on a low calorie diet, you won't grow tissue. You know why? Because you won't have the performance to drive it in the gym. You won't have the energy to really fucking send it to grow muscle tissue. The goal was to develop muscle and pull off body fat. The goal was not to rip everything off the frame. So with that in mind, how do we approach your nutrition? Well, if you are at 30% body fat and this is your maintenance, we can sit you at like a 500 calorie deficit and that'll be okay. And the reason why we don't need to go so low is, imagine your body is like a car. Well, your car, or your body has basically, or your car has been driven around your hometown, which is small. You've just driven it around, stop, start, gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, stop, boom, and your engine is full of carbon. And your battery is nearly fucking flat because you've been blasting the tunes, the AC, the lights have been on, and the battery's nearly flat. You've been doing this for months on end. This is what you've been doing to your body when you're eating fucking low calorie or really high calorie, just empty food of like garbage and not really moving. Now, what I would do if I had your car, I would fill it full of gas and I'd send it down the fucking motorway to allow it to blow all the carbon out the engine and to charge up the battery. We need to do that with your metabolism. What does that look and feel like? It actually looks like we feed you a good amount of food relative to your body composition and relative to what you've been eating. Because then you will then be filled full of food. Now I'm going to get you to move by doing 10,000 steps each day. I probably don't need to get you doing cardio to begin with, but I am going to get you to resistance train 3 to 5 times per week, depending on your ability. Now at that point, you're going to be sending food through the body. You're going to be using the food. You're going to be improving how your metabolism is operating because your body needs the food because you're making it do external like stimulus and effort, so it needs the food to support it. If we run that for 6 weeks, when we become aggressive to take the calories away, it will respond very nicely. But you have probably found, if you've ever tried to diet in the past, you'll go quite low calorie and nothing will really happen. Or it'll happen for a bit and then it'll plateau out really fast. The problem is you've just put your body into a pure state of flight, and it will hold the body fat because it doesn't know when it's going to get fed again. We actually want to trick it by thinking it's going to get fed well with good solid nutrients for a good amount of time. So when we then decide to pull away from it, it's like, oh, it's okay, we can drop this, and boom, off comes the body fat. You have to be, people say trick the body, you are almost tricking the body. The same with like deloads and refeeds work very well for this. If I've dieted you for 16 weeks, we've got 16 kilos off and another 4 to go. What will serve us at that point is running a refeed high carb day, fill you full of food again. You essentially do like kind of trick the body, but what really happens is you actually have more food and energy inside you. Therefore, your non-activity exercise thermogenesis will go up, and naturally you will just burn off that body fat. So it's the way we trick through this. Now, you could even start a little bit higher if you really wanted to, and you'd still see a good drop. But even if you've got the time, which most of you probably don't, you could sit just below maintenance around this figure here, and you'll still see a drop. Now remember, the goal is to see that kilo drop per week, but numbers in the gym to progress. If your numbers are increasing in the gym, you know you're building muscle, and that way you can rest assured that if you are pulling off body fat, you're losing the body fat whilst also developing the tissue, the art of the recomposition. And that's why it's important. I want you to track your numbers in the gym, so your logbook. And at the very least, just track the compound lifts. The main money movers, just track those. If you're not used to tracking and it seems all overwhelming and scary, which stop being a pussy, but just track the compound lifts. You're obviously going to track your food, and you're going to track your scale weight and take photos. So that then every week, if you drop the kilo, keep everything the same. But if you didn't drop the kilo, that's when we bring the food down. But before we bring the food down, have a secret weapon you can use instead. So when we set you up, let's say, for example, if you were to come to me, we'd be starting, if you were to come to me, 92 kg, 30% body fat with this level of activity, we'd be starting you at 2,224 calories. Protein would sit at 155. Now, this is this figure times by 2.4. Roughly, we want to go off lean body mass because it's going to be more accurate. Your overall weight doesn't all require the protein. That's why the 1 gram per pound of body weight is in most cases sensible. But if you're 30% body fat, it's kind of void because not all your weight requires protein, so it doesn't want to be as high. Fats, we want to sit at 20% of this target. This will keep you quite... This will keep them in a healthy position, but we can pull from this as well. Carbs, we want nice and high. They are going to be your driving factors for gym floor performance. So we're sat around 300 here. So that's how we're going to set you up in order to make solid progress. You may just ask, quickly, well, what will I eat? Well, what you can do is just look at the protein options. You know you need 150. You know you need to have 40 grams in a sitting. Roughly, these are your options here. Same with the fats. Fats are generally going to come from maybe one fatty option of protein, and the rest is going to be filled from your nuts, dark chocolates, or avocados and stuff. And your carbs are going to be dependent on when you need them. If you're going to eat just before the workout, have higher GI, fruit, bread, maybe cereal, but in fact, no, don't go cereal if you're in a dieting phase because you don't get that much of it. But you can go with your higher GI carbs, your oats, and it depends what digests well for you. So the main options I play with are oats, sweet potato, white potato, pasta and rice, whichever ones digest well for you. And that's the way I'd be structuring my diet, with then the rest being filled with fibre coming from the vegetables as well. So that's the way I would set up your nutrition and how we'd progress forward from that. And then we also want to remember that we're going to be in that negative energy balance, and the protein is nice and high. Now, from this point, we've set up your nutrition. We know how much you're going to be eating. We know we're not going too low in a massive deficit. We know we need to support gym floor performance and the numbers to increase in the gym. At that point, you have been set up. Now it's a case of you not standing on your own dick and fucking it up. Because remember, you didn't get here by accident. You got here because of your own habits. You got here because mentally, you are the man that is just not capable of saying no to things. You are the man that has zero discipline and zero consistency to stick to anything long term, and that's why you got here. Now, that's okay as long as you admit it and that we then look to fix it. I've given you the plan. If you don't fix the underlying problems, you'll fuck it up and you won't be able to steer the ship. Now, let's just, before we go into the deeper meanings, let's look at how we steer the ship. So you are going to, firstly track all of your metrics. So you're going to track your scale weight every day. You're going to track your food every day. Use MyFitnessPal. Eat the same meals every day for as long as you can. Do whatever it takes to not have multiple diet options. The more options you have, the more you'll fuck it up. The bigger the food bill, the more you'll fuck it up. The more prep you got to do, the more you'll fuck it up. You want pure simplicity. You want to set one meal plan and you want to stick to it for 6 weeks until you get so bored of the fucking protein option, you swap it for another one. You get so bored of the carb option, you swap it for another one. But I guarantee you don't. I guarantee you run the same food for the whole plan and you don't get fucking bored of it because you came up with the idea. And if you came up with the idea, you will stick to it. If I tell you to eat chicken, you want to swap it for turkey. If I tell you to eat turkey, you want to swap it for chicken because you're a motherfucker. So you come up with it and you stick to it. Now, you're going to track your food, you're going to track your scale weight. You're also going to track your sleep to make sure you're recovering. 8 hours per night. If you can't sleep well, it will take you longer to get to the goal. If you can sleep 8 hours per night, it will melt away and you will grow tissue. You repair and recover when you're in your sleep. Fuck red light therapy. Fuck your stupid cry chamber, foam rolling, stretching, all that gay stuff. Your body's best mechanism for recovery is sleep. So just fucking sleep. Don't overcomplicate it. Brain dead approach, just sleep an extra hour, no more other recovery options are available to you. Now, there is one tool I want you to use because there may come a point where a week will go by, you ate your nutrition, you didn't miss, you tracked your weight, it didn't really drop. You looked at your photos, you're also not any leaner. What I want you to do is before you pull from food, before you be like, fuck it, let's pull the hammer, let's send the calories down. What I want you to do is I want you to increase your output first. Why? Well, we want to keep food high because it's going to keep your metabolism in a good space. It's going to allow that driving factor of performance in the gym. If I can increase your output, you're going to get fitter. You're going to get healthier. Your heart is going to get stronger. So the way we approach this, I don't send you outside running because you're 30% body fat. Your poor joints carrying your yogurt tits and gut are going to be in absolute disarray. Your lower back's going to be fucking hanging out if I send you running. So the way we're going to approach this is you're going to do something that is non-impact. I want you to either do an incline treadmill walk, a bike, that would be the last option, or an elliptical cross trainer. The first and the last one are more exciting. So do those. Get your headphones in. Start at 20 minutes per day. Heart rate 120 to 130. Don't go above or below that. We want to do things that we can do daily and not accumulate fatigue. So that's the way you're going to approach that. Now, you will do that and then you will see a drop. And that will probably last you, well, it can last you 1, 2, 3 weeks. Roughly, I see like 2 to 3 weeks. Then you need to make the change again. Add more. Go to 30 minutes per day. Then to 40. And eventually, you'll then be in the trade-off between your own time to do the thing and then seeing the drop. And then at that point, fine. If you're doing 40 minutes per day and we need to see drop off, fine. Then take 200 calories away. And I would probably eat into fats first. Why? Because your fats are smaller in size and more dense in calories. So it makes sense to take them away first to keep the volume in the diet. What's going to keep volume in the diet is fiber. Your fruit and vegetables, your oats. We want to keep carbs high anyway, and we also don't want to touch protein for as long as humanly possible. So we're going to pull from fats. Now, you're never going to be on zero fat. It's impossible for you to eat a zero fat diet unless you just drank water, which you're never going to do. So it's okay to go to low fats. You're not going to be doing it forever. Now, you're going to do that, and every week monitor your progress. Okay? So, again, just to understand the blueprint, let's say you're just starting. You're going to do 3 resistance training sessions a week where you're going to track and record all lifts. You're going to set the nutrition just below maintenance or 500 calories below maintenance if you're 30% body fat. We've shown you how to do that. You're going to eat a good amount of protein, keep carbs high, and then you've got your fats, and we're going to pull from them when we need to. To make the change, we're going to adapt through the output, adding of cardio, and you're already going to do 10,000 steps each day. We know to make the change, we need to be able to put our hands on data to see that are we moving in the right direction. That looks like photos, scale weight, food, sleep, and obviously output when it comes in. Now at that point, that is literally it. If you follow everything I said there, you will go from this to this. You will. If you follow everything I said there, you will go from this to this. But most of you watching this video will be happy that you now know how to do it, but you still won't fucking do it. You know why? Because it's hard work. It's a lot of effort. You need to change who you are as a person. You need to tell your missus that you're going to do this. And you know what she's going to do? And you know how I know she's going to do this? Because it happened to a client yesterday. She's going to be tired after work. And she's going to say to you, can we go to Mackey's? Come on, we got one the other week. Can we go to Mackey's? And you're going to go, yeah, cool, you can go to Mackey's. And at that point, she's going to go, are you going to get something? And you know what you're going to do? You're going to go, yeah, I'll get something. And you know what inside she's thinking? You fucking bitch. You little pussy bitch. You're the man I'm supposed to love. I just lost a little bit of respect for you because you said you were going to diet and you didn't fucking stick to it. That means I can't trust you that if you say you're going to pay the fucking bills, you're going to pay the fucking bills. That's what's going to happen. And that's why you won't get to the goal. So in that very moment, when, by the way, your loved ones, they do not mean to dig you out and test you. This will happen automatically because that's just the way human beings are built. So how do you get around this? In that very moment, because I'm telling you now and making you aware of it, this will happen. You need to check yourself. In this very moment, you need to check yourself and think, I remember that motherfucker on the internet with a stupid straight fringe and he was telling me that this was going to happen. It will happen. You need to be in that point. You need to go, no. You need to be so selfish that you say no to fucking everything that is not within inside your plan. Unless they're telling you, do you want to go walk? Then maybe, yeah, cool, I've got 4,000 steps to do, let's go. Maybe. If they're saying, I've made you dinner, it's exactly the macros you told me to make, then fine. It's, oh, you want to go to the gym together, we'll do your session, then fine. If it's outside that, you need to be so inherently selfish that you say no. And you know what will people do? As soon as you start saying no, they will respect you more. And more, and more. And when you keep proving them wrong that you got in shape, they'll respect you a fucking boatload. Then do you know what they'll do? They'll ask you how you did it. All while this is bolstering your self-confidence and ego and worthiness to have this. But if you don't start by saying no, if you say yes, they will assume you're a little bitch and they will not treat you accordingly and they will not support you in getting you towards your goal if you don't support yourself. That's the main reason most people will not get to this, because they don't support themselves. Then because of that, why the fuck would the people around them support them? So the people around them make it more difficult, which means there's just no chance of them really getting to the goal. It's not quite the crabs in the bucket mentality because the people around them don't want them to fail, but naturally this is just what's going to happen because you're putting a certain action out into the world in front of them. Of course they're going to react in a certain way. 1 + 1 is 2. You're going to react in that way. That's just the way it is. Now, you have to change that. You have to change yourself internally first and just start from today. Be like, I'm a man of self-respect. The answer is no. Look yourself in the mirror and go, the answer is fucking no. Whatever comes to goes today, the answer is fucking no. That's what you have to tell yourself. If you don't fix that, I've given you the tactics. You won't do it. If you don't look at yourself in the mirror and think, I am going to change. No is the answer to everything. I can't wait to be tested and showcase that I am now changing. You won't get there. So fix that and you will get there because the blueprint's simple. I've done it again and again for people. But luckily they have me in their ear. They have me in their ear going, any challenges coming up this weekend? Oh yeah, actually, my missus wants to go. Okay, cool. So how are you navigating that? Oh, well, can I send you the menu? Yeah, of course you can send me the menu. Right, eat this. Happy? Yeah, go. Okay, cool. Plug and play. I go fishing. I know these things are going to come up because I'm a human being and they're human beings and these things come up. So I go fishing for them. Any issues coming up this week, tell me. Is someone coming into town to visit you? Okay, cool. How are you approaching that? Oh, I don't. Cool. Right. Well, this is what we're going to do. And that's why we get the results we do, because we go fishing for it because I know this is going to come up. And if we don't fix that, we'll get no results. So hope you found this useful. If you did, subscribe. If you want to work with me, book a call and I'll see you tomorrow.